Do you remember when the media and the Democrats went bat crap crazy because President George Bush, quote unquote, waited so long to visit the areas that were ravaged by Hurricane Katrina? Of course, it was because he was a racist. President Bush at the time responded by saying that he had flown over the areas, and the reason he didn't actually go to the areas is that when the president shows up, it creates a disruption. It creates logistical problems, and he wanted the people on the ground to be able to respond quickly and do what needed to be done without, quote, getting in the way. But remember, the media pummeled him for that. And of course, the fact that his departments like FEMA, etc., were absolutely ill prepared and not ready. That all said, here we are 2 years into a crisis at our southern border. Since Joe Biden has been president, an estimated 4 million illegal border crossings. You have border towns like El Paso, Texas, which are absolutely exploding with crime, exploding with violence, exploding with homelessness. And Joe Biden waits 2 full years before visiting the area. And nobody's got a problem with that? Nobody thinks that's an issue? On that, we begin.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Well, Joe Biden finally made his photo op visit to the border, and Governor Abbott didn't hold back.
He needs to step up and take swift action, including reimbursing the state of Texas for the money that we spent, but providing more resources for the federal government to do its job. Also, this is for nothing but for show unless he begins to enforce the immigration laws already that exist in the United States of America that are contained in the letter that are provided to the president today. He's never called me to talk to me about the immigration issue. Now I provided him a letter that provides tangible, concrete solutions that will stop illegal immigration. And I expect him to call to me, and that's what Secretary Mayorkas also said. Urge him in the letter to see the real chaos. What everybody here may already know, and that is that there were thousands of migrants sleeping on the streets in El Paso that have been cleaned up in the past few days. And I asked him to go see the areas where we have these mass migration crossings and go visit with the people who own property and live on the border whose lives have been totally disrupted.
It is kind of funny, isn't it, when you think about the irony of the fact that a Democratic-run city of El Paso, which just days ago had literally thousands of homeless migrants living on the streets. It looked like San Francisco. And now, poof, magically they're all gone. Where did they go? Where could they possibly have gone? Oh, where has my illegal gone? Oh, where can he be? It's like magic, because the Biden administration, it would be interesting to note if the mayor of El Paso did not receive word ahead of time from the White House to make sure you clear the streets so that as the president walks through, he's not, quote, humiliated by his own border failures. And as Governor Abbott said, it means nothing if you're not going to actually do anything. Like, well, first of all, let the border agents do their job without vilifying them, without saying they're doing things like riding on horses and whipping migrants, which turns out that was not exactly what happened. The so-called whip was actually the reins of the horse, and the reins of the horse were going back and forth on the horse and never touched an actual migrant. Let's just call these migrants what they are: illegal invaders. Period. Period. And of course, Obama Biden cares more about the illegals than he actually does American citizens. See, you better understand really quickly that your rights mean nothing. He's already said that. He's already talked about during the pandemic that your right over your body means nothing. If he decides that he's going to mandate you're going to get love potion number 9, you're going to get love potion number 9. When he's talking about things like gun control, you are not guaranteed to have these rights forever. He has made statements like that no right is a promissory forever, that those rights can go away at any time, which only proves that in the mind of Obama Biden, as in the mind of the average Democrat, your rights are not rights. They are simply privileges. And they alone will decide when you can and can't have them, which is exactly why the concept that our inalienable rights come from our Creator is written the way it's written. Because the framers of our Constitution understood that if rights come from men, then men on a whim can take your rights away. But if your rights are God-given, then they can't be taken away because there's no higher power, no higher authority than God. So a man-created hierarchy cannot take something away from you that, number one, they didn't give you, and they certainly can't override God. That's exactly why our founding fathers put it that way. But of course, in the year 2023, where we have just completely lost our minds over everything on, genders can be fluid and there is no crisis at the border and just let everybody on in. It's all wonderful because we're more about promoting wokeism than we are actually about enforcing the law. You have what we have happening at the border of Mexico and the United States. You have Joe Biden referring to these people coming here as like Jewish refugees fleeing Nazi Germany. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Are you kidding me? Over 4 million have arrived just in the last 2 years. Why? Because, hey, y'all come on in. That's the Biden's way of dealing with this. And you know what this is about? This is exactly about the Democrats having what they feel is a guaranteed voting block. That's it, period. Period. This is they have a guaranteed voting block. And remember, the Democrats have become the party of Wall Street. The Democrats have become the party of big business. For years, it was the Democrats who fought the Republicans for being the party of Wall Street and being for big business and being against the worker. And yet the Democrats, the so-called Workers' Party, just crushed the railroad union, crushed the railroad employees. Understand what's going on here. Big business likes cheap labor. And they don't like to have to pay them, especially as you got the Democrats running around talking about a guaranteed minimum wage of $15 an hour. $15 an hour, got to give people $15 an hour. You'll need to be able to support a family of 5 and put them through college flipping burgers at McDonald's. Well, that's not even remotely attainable. So, what happens? This same party that promotes that, the new American standard, on the other hand, is welcoming in the illegals. They don't necessarily want them to register and become citizens because then they don't have to pay them what they pay American citizens. And boy, oh boy, doesn't Wall Street and big business love that. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Starting to see how this all works? But we do want them to be able to vote. They need to be able to get a driver's license and ID, and they need to be able to vote. They need to be able to take advantage of all of the American systems that most Americans can't tap into and use, like free health care. And again, I'm one of those right-wingers. I got a different position on national health care than the average conservative. You know, if we can fund endless wars all over this planet, we can take care of the American people. But see, I really am about America first, which is exactly what Donald Trump is about. He made a tactical mistake in his first term in office. If you read Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Comeback, you will find out that Donald Trump actually likes the concept of a national health care program. Those are some things that he should have definitely put into motion his first term in office. Again, you take care of the people will come out for you en masse. And the media was able to pin him as a loon and portray him that way, and you know they use the pandemic and the lockdowns as an albatross around his neck to kill the economy and to put everybody in fear, and that we had to have a change, otherwise we're going to be in this forever. And the rest is history. Joe Biden waits 2 years to go to the border to witness the crisis he created. And of course, the whole thing is a staged photo op, period. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's sad and it's tragic, and you and I are paying for it. And exactly how are we supposed to absorb all these people that are coming in? And if you get a Ron DeSantis or a Governor Abbott that actually, put some of these people on buses and send them to Washington, D.C., Ron DeSantis on a plane full of, 50 people to Martha's Vineyard, and the media goes into meltdown. New York City gets 200 migrants, and immediately they begin to scream, "We can't handle this," and the government just starts throwing money at them. What are they doing for the border towns in Texas? What are they doing for the state of Texas? This whole thing is just phony, bullhawk nonsense. More of the fact that Joe Biden is completely out of touch. He has absolutely lost it. And by the way, I will give a thumbs up to the new Speaker of the House that after his feet were held to the fire by the Patriots, by the Freedom Caucus, and he had to give in to their demands in order to get the speakership. He's gone after defunding the IRS. Love it, love it, love it. More of it. Keep it coming.